Kasi ang daming po pwedeng gawin dyan eh. But the question is the time that you have being utilized properly? Ano ba yung goal natin? Alam natin sa pinakadulo, meron tayong board exam na pinaghahandaan. Saka ka na mag-banjing-banjing pagka CPA ka. Lahat ng oras na ginugugol mo, dapat it is a step closer to your being a CPA. It must all add up to a nice preparation comes the board exam. Next, ecclesiastical corporations. These are corporations organized for the furtherance of religion and for perpetuating the rights of the church. So, furtherance of religion. Basta ecclesiastical, religious purposes. Next, corporations by prescription. Those which have exercised corporate powers for an indefinite period without interference on the part of the sovereign power and which by fiction of law is given the status of a corporation. The examples of which class mami-mention naman sa'yo sa law subjects mo. So, let's not delve very deep into this. Ang ating concern here, as we have said, is the accounting portion of this one. Okay? Domestic corporations. Those that are formed, syempre, under domestic laws or Philippine laws. Ang dami niyan. I don't have to give example. Foreign corporations. Ganun din, domestic. Ito, ganun din sa domestic. Syempre, ito naman, under foreign laws. Open corporations, those whose shares of stocks are traded in the stock market. So by that, you have an idea of what is a closed corporation. Section 95 of the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines defines those corporations as corporations whose articles of incorporation provides that, letter A, all the corporations issued stock of all classes exclusive of treasury shares shall be held of record by not more than a specified number of persons, not exceeding 20. So, characteristics ng closed corporation, binabanggit dito. B, all the issued stock of all classes shall be subject to one or more specified restrictions on transfer permitted by this title. C, the corporation shall not list in any stock exchange or make any public offering of its stock of any class. So, ibig sabihin ng letter C, hindi siya traded sa stock market. Okay? Notwithstanding of the foregoing, a corporation shall not be deemed closed corporation when at least 2/3 of its voting stock or voting rights is owned or controlled by another corporation which is not a closed corporation within the meaning as defined, ibig sabihin yan, by this code. So, falling under all of this, pagka na-comply lahat ng mga yan, then it is a closed corporation. Okay? Next, one-person corporations. Section 116 of the new corporation law states that one-person corporation is a corporation with a single stockholder, provided that only a natural person trust or any estate may form a one-person corporation. So, as with regards the legal matters, we'll not delve into that once again. Yung accounting matters lang ang concern natin dito. So, pagka accounting for one-person corporation, then it would be discussed pagka naka-encounter tayo ng ganun. Alright? Powers of corporation. Section 35 of the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines states that every corporation incorporated under this code has the power and capacity 1. To sue and be sued in its corporate name. Ibig sabihin, pwede kang idemanda. Pwede kang magdemanda at idemanda in the name of the corporation. Alright? So, any transgression, any fault or any legal wrongdoing in the name of the corporation, it must sue and be sued under its corporate name. Pagka sinabing sue, demanda. Alright, class? 2. To have perpetual existence unless a certificate of incorporation provides otherwise. 3. To adopt and use corporate seal. 4. To amend its articles of incorporation in accordance with the provisions of the new corporation code. 5. To adopt bylaws not contrary to law, morals, or public policy, and to amend or repeal the same in accordance with this code. 6. In case of stock corporations, to issue or sell stocks to subscribers and to sell treasury stocks in accordance with the provisions of this code, and to admit members to the corporation if it be a non-stock corporation. 7. To purchase, receive, take, or grant, hold, convey, sell, lease, pledge, mortgage, and otherwise deal with such real and personal property, including securities and bonds of other corporations, as the transaction of the lawful business of the corporation may reasonably and necessarily require, subject to the limitations prescribed by law and the Constitution. So, Tulad ng sabi natin kanina, this chapter is more on theoretical side ng corporation kasi hindi naman tayo po pwedeng mag-discuss at mag-solve kaagad ng mga problems. Kailangan alam mo muna yung mga initial discussions, yung mga theory behind corporation. So, mas maganda nga talaga, class, if you have a copy of the book. So, habang nagdi-discuss tayo dito, nasasabayan as usual. 8. To enter into a partnership, joint venture, merger, consolidation, or any other commercial agreement with natural and juridical person. So, just in passing, kailangan daanan natin lahat ito. 9. To make reasonable donations, including those for public welfare or for hospital, charitable, so self-explanatory naman itong mga to, cultural, scientific, civil, or similar purposes, provided that no foreign corporation shall give donations in aid of any political party or candidate or for purposes of partisan political activity. Self-explanatory. Sabi dito, no foreign corporation shall give donations in aid of any political party. 10. To establish pension, retirement, and other plans for the benefit of its directors, trustees, officers, and employees, and to exercise such powers as may be essential or necessary to carry out its purpose or purposes as stated in the articles of incorporation. So 11. Components of a corporation. You have here corporators. The law enumerates 4 classes of persons. Those who compose the corporation, whether as shareholders or members, corporators ang tawag. So remember this definition. Your teachers might give you this one in your quizzes or sit works, even in exams, so possible yan. Take note again, 4 ito. Tulad ng sabi natin sa basic accounting, no? Always take note of enumerations of 4. Bakit? Alam mo na yung reason, right? Tama ba? Alright. 2. Incorporators. Those corporators mentioned in the articles of incorporation as originally forming and composing the corporation. So, sila yung original corporators. Incorporators ang tawag to. And who executed and signed the articles of incorporation. 3. Shareholders, owners of shares of stock in a corporation. 4. Members, corporators of a non-stock corporation. Not much explanation is needed. These are definitions which are very self-explanatory. Rights of shareholders. So, 5 ang na-mention dito. Some of these basic rights are, number 1, right to have a certificate or other evidence of his status as a shareholder issued to him. Do you need further explanation for that? A right to have a certificate. 2, right to vote at meetings of the corporation shareholder. 3, the right to receive his proportionate share in the profits of a corporation upon declaration of dividends. So, malinaw, sabi dyan, upon declaration of dividends, because the legal obligation of a corporation only arises upon declaration of dividends. So, hindi mo pa pwedeng pwersahin yung corporation na magbigay sa'yo hanggat hindi pa siya nagdi-declare. The legal liability only arises upon dividend declaration. Ano ba yung dividend? Dividendo. Okay? You'll be more familiar with this pagka nag-solve na tayo kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng dividendo. Yan yung ini-expect mo, yung return na ini-expect mo bilang shareholder from a corporation. These are forms of distribution to the owners of the corporation. Ayan. 4, the right to share in the distribution of assets upon liquidation of the corporation. So pagkaayawan na, liliquidate na yung assets, meaning to say, conversion, i-realize na lahat. You have the right to receive your proportionate share. 5, the right to buy additional shares of stock in case new shares are issued in order to maintain his proportionate interest in the corporation. This is called preemptive right. Bago ibenta yung shares of stock sa iba, you must first be offered to buy these shares in order to maintain your proportionate share or interest in the corporation. Pagka tinanggihan mo dahil di mo siguro kayang bilhin, doon lang po pwedeng ibenta sa iba. Okay? So, they cannot go to outsiders kagad-agad without offering it first to existing shareholders. This is called preemptive right on the part of the shareholder. Okay? Corporate formation or incorporation. The formation of a corporation requires a lot of work. Kasi rule, private corporations cannot come into existence except upon compliance with the law regulating its incorporate. The right to form a corporation requires a grant of primary franchise by the state. Since it is merely a grant, the state can impose restrictions, conditions upon which corporations may exist. So, ang daming compliance requirements na kailangang masatisfy dito. So, recently, alam mo naman ang nangyari sa ABS-CBN, tama ba? It is a quasi-public corporation since it involves public interest. And by the arguments na napanood natin, di ba? Na-televise pa yung hearing with regards the renewal of the franchise for ABS-CBN, lumalabas ang daming violations. That is why that led to the revocation of the franchise for that corporation. Section 10 of the Revised Corporation Code states that any person, partnership, association, or corporation singly or jointly with others, but not more than 15 in number, may organize a corporation for any lawful purposes or purpose, provided that natural persons who are licensed to practice a profession and partnerships or associations organized for the purpose of practicing a profession shall not be allowed to organize as a corporation unless otherwise provided under special laws. As sinasabi dito, class, but not more than 15. So as we have mentioned in the old law, nakalagay doon, in-specify 5 to 15. Ngayon, inalis na yung 5 kasi nga meron ng OPC, one person corporation. So nakalagay na lang dito, not more than 15. Okay? Aside from that, sabi din dito, natural persons who are licensed to practice a profession, pati yung partnerships or associations organized for purpose of practicing a profession, hindi daw pwedeng corporate form. That is according to what this section is telling us. Okay? Pwera na lang kung meron daw special law nagpo-permit sa ganito na gawain. So, this is a general law. Any special law trumps general law. So, kung merong special law, or syempre, isusupersede niya yung provision na in conflict sa general law. At ang masusunod yung special law. Yun yung sinasabi dito sa part na to. Incorporators who are natural persons must be of legal age. Alam mo naman yung natural person, tama ba? Ayan, yung may pusod. Ayan. Hindi lang by fiction of law. Ayan. Each of the incorporators of a stock corporation must own or be subscriber to at least one share. Ayan, nabanggit din ito dun sa old definition. Must own or at least be a subscriber of at least one share of capital stock of a corporation. Ayan. So, pagka narating natin yung discussion ng kinds of stocks, doon matututunan mo yung common shares or common stock, preferred shares, preference stock, steps in incorporation. Formally organizing a corporation is called incorporation. Incorporation involves the following steps. 1. Verification from the Securities and Exchange Commission to make sure that the name to be adopted by the corporation is distinguishable from that already reserved or registered for the use of another corporation, or such name is already protected by law. Nakaisip kayong magkakaibigan, mag-form ng corporation, papatayo kayo ng fast food at binabalak nyo din na magpa-franchise ng fast food na yun. So sa dinami-dami ng pangalan, ang naisip mong pangalan ay Jollibee. Tingin mo, makakapag-register ka ba sa Securities and Exchange Commission? Hindi. Why? Because it is already existing. Hindi po pwede yung ganun. Siyempre, hindi ka papayagan. O kaya naman, nakaisip kang together with your friends, gumawa ng corporation. Sabi mo, gawa tayo ng convenience stores. Ayan. Pakalat natin sa buong bansa. Ang pangalan ay 11-7. Ayan. O pwede kaya yun? Tingin mo? Will the Securities and Exchange Commission permit or approve your application for such formation? For such incorporation? Ha? Oh, sir, 11-7 naman yun. Parang wala pa yatang ganun na corporation. Ha? 11-7. Sir, di ba meron ng 7-11? Ayan. Iba naman to eh. 11-7 ito. Tingin mo, pwede. Ang nakalagay yata sa batas is any name that is not yet existing or not confusingly similar dun sa existing na. So, there is a high chance that the Securities and Exchange Commission will not permit that. Right. 2. Drafting and execution of the articles of incorporation by the incorporators. Stock corporation shall not be required to have a minimum capital stock except as otherwise provided by special law. Under the old law, there is a provision there na 25-25. 25% of the authorized capital stock must be subscribed and 25% of the subscribed must be paid. So sinasabi ngayon dito na not be required to have a minimum capital stock. Yun. So, that is one of the changes. 3. Filing of the articles of incorporation with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and in case the corporation is governed by special laws, a favorable recommendation of the appropriate government agency. So, if your corporation is with regards harvesting trees, then quite possibly you need a clearance from the DNR, stuff like that. 4. Payment of the filing and publication fees. 5. Issuance by the Securities and Exchange Commission of the Certificate of Incorporation if all the papers filed after verification and examination are found to be in order. Articles of Incorporation. Section 13 of the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines also states that all corporations organized under this code shall file with the Securities and Exchange Commission articles of incorporation in any of the official languages, duly signed and acknowledged by the incorporators, by all of the incorporators, containing substantially the following matters, except as otherwise prescribed by this code or by special law. The name of the corporation, you have here the first one, name of the corporation. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I will not bore you with the details. You can read this on your own. So, very, very ideal if you have a copy of our book. I always post where you can find and buy on a discount yung ating libro. Yun ang pinaka-ideal scenario, yung may sarili kang kopya. So that as we discuss, you also have hard copy. Yun ang pinaka-maganda. May hawak-hawak ka dyan habang nagdi-discuss tayo. Ganon din dito sa Articles of Incorporation, yung format. Okay? I will not bore you with the details. We cannot and we should not read this one by one. Section 13, siguro itong first lang, of the Revised Corporation Code also states that all corporations shall file with the Commission articles of incorporation in any of the official languages duly signed and acknowledged or authenticated in such form and manner as may be allowed by the Commission, containing substantially the following matters except as otherwise prescribed by this code or by special law. Okay, ito yung format class. Articles of incorporation of, okay, name of the corporation. So, dito, nag-provide na kasi ng format. ABC Corporation. Ayan, name of the corporation. The undersigned corporators of all legal age have voluntarily agreed to form a stock or non-stock corporation, depende, under the laws of the Republic of the Philippines and certify the following. First, second, third, names, nationality, residences of the incorporators. Yan. Number of directors or trustees, name, nationality, residence. Seventh, the authorized capital stock of the corporation is, nakalagay dyan, etc., etc. Name of subscriber, nationality, number of shares subscribed, amount paid. Yan.